Good evening everybody, welcome to my Facebook Live. My name's Kelley Farley. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Karaka, Auckland, and every Sunday night I come along and we make a card together. So tonight we're going to make this card similar. We're going to use a watercolour technique to get this, what do you call it, kind of like an ombre paper that then you can use to cut out die cuts or stamp on the background or whatever, but that's what we're going to be making today. Let me just get this up on the screen so that I can see what everyone's doing, and if anyone is with me tonight, please do say hello if you are here. So that is our card for tonight. We might change it up a bit with the embossing folder and the dies, but the first thing that we're going to need is a piece of, I've just used basic white, and yeah, I'll just use basic white, and I've just cut it at a normal card front size. And tonight we're going to use Timid Tiger and Darling Duckling, which are two colours that I don't really use a lot, but thought it might be quite a nice, they'll work quite nicely together to give us a bit of a background, and excuse the grotty keyboard there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is you've got a piece of card. Now this is just a quarter piece of cardstock, so I've got, it's 10.5 centimeters by 14.85, so it's your normal standard card front size. We're making it slightly bigger so we've got a bit more space to use things. And then I'm just using my Stampin' Up spritzer. These come in a pack of 2. I can't remember how much they are. Let me have a look. They are $12.75 for a pack of 2. Open up. Yeah. So they work really well with water, but you can also use them with, keyboard. It's just annoying, out of the way. You can use it with alcohol as well if you're doing alcohol spritzing, and you can fill them with re-inkers to spritz with colour. We're just using it with water, and you want to get your paper quite wet, alright? So if you have watercolour paper and you prefer to use watercolour paper, then that's okay, you can use that, but we want to get it quite wet, like so. Alright, and it's quite warm at the moment, so it is taking a little bit of water on board, and it's drying. So then I'm just going to get my 2 ink pads that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to stamp them. Let me go back to here so I can make sure that you can see what I'm doing. I'm just stamping them to get a really good solid coverage on the ink, and then the same with my second one. I want to get them ready so that when I'm ready to use it, I can just pick it up and I know that it's ready to go. So I'm going to start with the lighter one, which is Darling Duckling, and as you can see my paper is quite wet because it's curling. I'm going to pop just a little bit more on, and that's fine, it just means that we use the heat tool. Alright, so because you want it to kind of smush around, so you're just kind of pushing it on and dragging the ink around. Alright, and so that is the lighter colour, and then using the darker colour we're just going to smush it. Alright, smush it and move it. Drag it, it's going a little bit brown here, but that's okay. And we're just going to drag some of that paper off there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that to the side. So that it can dry, and it's very warm in here, so hopefully it won't take very long to dry it all. Oh, there's my other one. It's got ink and alcohol in it. Alright, so I'm just going to pop this to the side, and then we'll get started on our card base and stuff. So Let me bring in my trimmer here. I'm gonna go, let's go Darling Duckling for a card base. No, Timid Tiger, sorry. This is Timid Tiger. Yep. So we go 10.5, move the dark out the way. So we've got that there. And then we're going to use a bit of Darling Duckling as our front mat. So I want this about 10. We'll give the, you can still see the orange by 14.35. I'm going to keep that little sliver. Now, Darling Duckling, like I said, is not really a colour that yellow and oranges are not really my colours, but maybe I might have a little bit more. So I'm going to take that down just a little bit more. So it'll be 13.85 and 9.5 for our front. Oh, Alison, you're having a rough time with getting it up on there, aren't you? Facebook can be very annoying sometimes, though. So I don't know if you've seen it. We're just doing a watercolor technique, and I've just smushed some color onto my card front there with 2 blocks and just lots of water on my card. So I'm just going to pop that in there, and I'm going to run that through the embossing machine. Forgot that the paper was there. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's have a look. So lovely stripes. Exposed brick. That's quite a nice one. Or should we go 4 in a row? Let's decide what dyes we're going to use first. It's very warm. So I'm going to use the branching out dies. The stamp set has retired and sold out, but this has got some quite nice little, I think that might be, nope, no, it might be actually, no, wrong yellow, definitely do like that one. Alright, so I'm going to use these dies, so let's have a go at this embossing folder. Oh. Alright, so I'm just going to pop this embossing folder in here, and then we'll do like a crossover, and I'm going to try and keep it as straight as I can, because otherwise it's going to annoy me. It's called All in a Row embossing folder. I'll just be back in a minute and run that through. Right, tried very quickly to be fast, and it actually made me slower, so that's annoying. Thank you for your patience. Alright, so that's our embossing folder. Another little trick you can do, because you can't really see that very well, and because it's not a deep one, just going to put this here. I'm just going to get my stamp pad. and you're just going to get it nice and flat. I'm just going to rub over it, just really gently, enough to get the definition out, like so. It's just going to make it stand out a bit more. So that's going to go on here like that, and then get rid of that. Get my little suddenly got very hot. Okay, so let's cut out. How big is that? Yeah, that piece, and use the white, basic white. Hopefully this will fit. Yes, look at that. Meant to be. So I'm just laying my sandwich together here. One thing that if you have got flat-ended dies, if you can pop them in just on a very slight angle, it makes it a little bit easier to go through, both the big one and the little one, because it's not trying to cut on a blunt edge. So get rid of that. Then it's going to go there, and then these dies aren't really going to work for what I want. Are they? They're a bit little. Okay, so I need to find some different dies. Let me get the leaves, I think, because they're quite cool. And they are those ones. Nope. Those ones. So the dies that I used are Nature's Symphony. They come with a stamp set as well as they fit in there. Oh, just. They come with a stamp set as well as the dies, but those are a new set that I've just got, which is going to be a focus of in the next little bit this month, so you might see more of them. As in Helen's thing, we do like a showcase stamper, and we choose a set to show. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Alright, so this is our paper now, still a bit wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my heat tool. And it will make it curl a little bit as it dries, but that's okay. It's a bit of fun smishing the ink around. Getting, mixing the colours and stuff, so I'm just going to dry it to get the majority of the moisture out. And as you can see, the colour changes slightly as you dry it. Don't worry about little lines and stuff on it. That just all adds to the effect, depending on the dye that you're using. You could just use a straight shape, you don't have to use like you could have cut it out of that. You could have cut the circle out of it. But I wanted this to stand out a little bit more against the background and still have the colours of the background. So this is the one that we were looking at, Alison. It's the one that we did, and that the leaves are the same leaves that we're going to use tonight, and they are the ones that the two colours are the card base and the card front. Alright, so let me move that out of the way. So that's quite dry now, and what I'm going to do is using that. Where did I just put mine? Losing my mind. Oh, there it is. So we're just going to grab our leaves, and I want a bit of both. Now, because I'm wanting to use my mini, that's not going to fit. It could if I fold it. But what we're going to do is we're just going to trim off a little bit there, because that could be used for something else. Might have some other smaller dies. Okay, and then we're going to pop this on our mat. I'm going to run it through again just to be safe, because if it's a little bit wet it might take a little bit more to cut through. So because it has been damp, I'm going to just be very gentle pulling it out of the die. Alright, get rid of my L there. So we're just going to really gently separate the two parts. And I'm doing this from the back so that I can see where they are. And just gently pop it out like that. Oh, that's quite cool. Those colours have come up. So see how in here it looked quite harsh in some of the places with the join there. So there it was quite harsh in some places, but actually it's come up quite nicely there. So I'm going to pop our card here. And having the embossing also kind of warps your card a little bit as well, so but that's okay. I'm going to pop it down here like this, and then see here. And here, I need a smaller one. Let's go with that one. So I've got the spotlight on nature dies, or maybe I should stick with the stitching, because I quite like this one with the fluting around the edge. I know they're beautiful, aren't they, Alison? The stamp set is really nice too. I haven't had much time to play with it, but there's these leaves, which is the die directly, and then this is cutting out the stamp, and the stamp's really pretty too. I don't want anything too big. Is that going to fit? Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm going to cut out one of those. And see what it looks like instead of having a stitched one. I have one that is, let's find a piece that's the right size. No. That one is, but it cuts into a piece, doesn't it? That's fine. It is what it is. I do need to just trim it though. Have you had a nice week, Alison? It's been pretty busy. You've been pretty busy too, I see. You've done some lovely catching up with people. Block for that. Oh, just fits. Right, should we go orange or could we do a mix? Should we do a mix? Keeping up with the ombre theme. I'm just going to pop this on, and you can see in here there's kind of a line, so I'm just going to pop a little bit further up that way, and switch my stamp around so that the uninked part is on there, and I'm just going to catch the bottom of the top half of it so that we get a little bit of a ombre effect. The nice thing with a circle is it doesn't matter if it's straight, because you just turn your circle around until it's straight. Oh no! Here we go. Not as ombre as I'd like, but still has the two colours kind of crossing over. Could have done it sideways actually. It's easier to line up that way though, so you don't get mixed ink in your ink pads. Alright, so I'll pop that up here. Yes, we're going to glue that on. Oh, I hope you're on the other side of those migraines. There's nothing worse than a migraine. I wonder if it's the weather. Puppy's been getting a few as well. And they're always at the most inopportune times, aren't they? The arrival of those things. Because of the texture, I like to just push it through from the other side as well, just to make sure it gets a good grip with the glue. And I was just going to say without it popping out the other side, but that just did. So we'll put our piece here, just a little bit off centre to the right hand side. And then this one is also going to have, actually I might glue the bottom and dimensional the top. Oh, now that's, thought I'd be clever and try and do it just without getting the packet down, but that didn't work. Because we've just got that slight raised, and because it's nope, it's going to need to be both. It's not as high as I thought. Put it there. And then I'm going to pop some dimensionals, oops, carefully on the other side here. Now when I pulled my dimensional off, I accidentally pulled the backing off this, so I just have to be really careful to not, because it's stuck to my finger on both sides, to not pull it and rip it. You know, it's broken. I just want to make sure that this is nice and stable, so I'm putting as many bits of dimensional on as I can. I thought they would help, but they're not. cut that. My last one, I didn't put one on every leaf, but I seem to have put one on every leaf this time, just to make sure that it's, and also I was trying to use those edgy bits that kind of just hang around. So now we'll get these off. Sticky, sticky, not sticky. So this is another reason that you need to make sure that your paper is relatively dry, because otherwise your dimensionals won't stick. Okay, so when I planned this out, my thinking was that the orange will come over and off because it'll stand out a bit more, and then that's our card. So 2 cards, similar, same technique, different look. They're not really my colours. Not colours that I usually go towards, but I quite like how it's come out actually. So hopefully whoever receives that card will like it just as much as well. And then I cut mine down, but you could actually, just using this one piece of card, you could actually get 2 bits out of it. You could get some long pieces here, you've got some more there with just the yellow. Yeah, so you could, or you could do it with a bigger piece so that you get lots of colour options that you can do. Alright, well, that is our card for tonight. Thank you very much, Alison, for joining me. I hope that you have a great week, and I hope that those migraines don't come through this week for you and have a bit of a rest from them. And I will see you, thank you, Alison. I'll see you next week. Alison, I've got your embossing folder in my bag. So hopefully one of the days that I'm going home, going past that way, I will drop it off to you. But I'll let you know. So it's in my car, so I remember to give it to you. Okay? Alright. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye for now.